Hey Encino, looking for low prices on grocery favorites? Find them at your refreshed Amazon Fresh grocery store. Whether you're picking up this week's grocery haul or today's hot lunch, Amazon Fresh is your spot to save big. Head to amazon.com/grocery store opening for info on upcoming store events, this week's deals, and more. Find savings as far as the aisle can see at your refreshed Amazon Fresh in Encino on Ventura Boulevard.
Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Los Angeles, the Win Without Competing show with Dr. Arlene Barrow, host and creator of the Right Fit Method, the key to professional and personal success. Now, let's join Dr. Arlene.
Thank you, Virgil. Today is the day for my 10 communication commandments. I love meeting people and talking on the phone. Wherever I am, I consciously look around to see what's happening. I have no difficulty introducing myself to people I don't know. In fact, I really enjoy breaking the ice. I don't treat people I do not know as strangers. Instead, I act as if I know them. I can hear some of my listeners saying, "How can she do what she's saying?" For me, it's very easy. If you spend a good portion of your day emailing, avoiding personal interaction, and delaying calling people you don't know, it's very important that you stay tuned to this show. It's easy to be anonymous. There's no risk of failure. If you make a blooper, what does it matter? On the other hand, think of the possibilities if you suddenly decided to present yourself in a new way. You'll be amazed how many doors you can open. To succeed, you must implement my 10 communication commandments, which are the keys to professional and personal success. Here they are. Commandment 1, always carry a business card. I never leave home without it. Be sure that your card is up to date. Please do not write changes on your cards and hand them out. Your goal is to make a positive first impression. I've called lots and lots of people, met them, and when I look at their cards, I find they're difficult to read. Remember, if the reader needs a magnifying glass to read the card, you have failed to achieve your objective. Perhaps you're thinking, what is the right time to hand out my business card? For example, if you're at an event. I like to present my card at the same time that I introduce myself. If the recipient of the card does not reciprocate, I wait until the end of the conversation to ask for the card. I have a drawer full of slips of paper with contact info. It's much easier to organize cards. In fact, I constantly lose these little slips of paper, which I just did the other night. If you are not satisfied with your current business card or do not have one for whatever reason, start working on creating one right after this show. Don't delay. It's extremely important. It's a very impressive way to present yourself, your important brand, with the Right Fit business card. Communication Commandment 2. Introduce yourself first. I recently went to a business networking event for entertainment professionals. I introduced myself to a man who was looking for funding to complete his television project. After I spoke with him, he stood against a wall and did not speak with anyone except his wife. I asked myself, why did he come? It's up to you to walk around to meet and greet people. Handing out a business card at the point of introduction will help you focus on the other person, not on yourself. Communication Commandment 3. Avoid leaving voicemails. And I repeat, avoid leaving voicemails. In my experience, it is common practice for people not to respond to voicemails. I leave voicemails infrequently if I do not know the person. If I know that my voicemails will be responded to, then I leave voicemails. When you are searching for a new position, do not leave a voicemail. Instead, arrange a time to speak with the person that you need to contact. If you cannot arrange an appointment, call at different times during the day to try to catch the person. Don't give up. Be patient. It could really make a significant difference. Communication Commandment 4. Don't beat a dead horse. Don't beat a dead horse. If your marriage is over, accept it. In both your personal and professional life, stop calling and emailing when it is crystal clear that the relationship, career opportunity, or expected promotion are dead. Instead, figure out why you are not successful so that you behave differently the next time. Notice what I just said. So that you behave differently the next time. Unfortunately, many of us repeat the same ineffective behavior. Our goal is to change those behaviors that do not work. Pay careful attention to what needs to be changed. I am a firm believer in trying to fix fits if possible. However, if you're searching for a new position, it's extremely important that you overcome objections before they are voiced. It is difficult to overcome objections after the employer states them. Remember, generally, people do not like to admit that they rush to judgment prematurely. It's up to you to prevent that from happening. Communication Commandment 5. Know when to speak, know when to write. Again, know when to speak, know when to write. In the age of email, it is common practice to use email as the communication tool of choice for all types of communications. It's easy and fast. From my perspective, it is not the right fit tool for all communications. For example, if you're negotiating an agreement, it is important to hear what the other person is saying. You need to listen to the tone of the person's response in order to gauge your response. I remember negotiating a complicated offer in which I was placing the president of a company outside the United States. I negotiated the offer with the lead company attorney. The quality of my verbal exchange with him enabled me to obtain an outstanding package for the candidate which included a noteworthy golden parachute. My verbal skills sealed the deal. Can your verbal skills seal the deal? Be very selective in determining when to use email. Do not assume it is the right tool for all communications. Communication Commandment 6. Address people by last name. It's common practice to immediately address people by their first names. Underlying that practice is the assumption that the addressee wants to be called Steve, Susan, or Sam. Avoid using sir, ma'am, or madam. Instead, use Mr., Ms., Mrs., Doctor, Mr. President, not Barack. Take the time to figure it out. You will differentiate yourself from others by doing what I suggest. I recently met Alexandre Renoir, who followed in the footsteps of his famous great-grandfather. I observed that some people quickly called him Alex. I felt it was inappropriate. How would you have addressed the great-grandson of the Renoir? The person you are addressing will tell you if they want you to call them by their first name. Wait to see what happens. Do not rush to call them by their first name. Communication Commandment 7. Cancel phone and in-person appointments. Cancel phone and in-person appointments. I hear my listeners shaking a bit. I know many of you do not do that. It is common practice not to cancel phone and in-person appointments. In fact, physicians' offices have started to charge as high as $75 for those who do not cancel their appointments 24 hours in advance. Be respectful of other people's time. For me, a phone appointment and an in-person appointment are one and the same. Time scheduled is time scheduled. Adopt the motto, it's not all about me. Communication Commandment 8. Thank others. Whether you get what you want or do not get what you want, thank others for what they have done for you, whatever that is. When John Rich became the Celebrity Apprentice recently, he did not shake the hands of Donald Trump and his children. Instead, he focused on himself. People contact me many years later after meeting me because they remember my graciousness. Do they remember yours? Communication Commandment 9. Understand the question. In various capacities, I work with people from coast to coast. As CEO of Barrow Global Search Inc., professional speaker, and master business and career coach, I ask lots of questions and talk with others about questions they have been asked in a business or job search situation. They often quickly answer questions without understanding the real question. Initially, that surprised me when they told me that. But then I started listening very carefully and realized that they did not think about what they were being asked. If you're asked at a job interview about your weaknesses, are you going to provide a list of weaknesses? If you do, what are you really saying about yourself? Think carefully before speaking. Quite often, we are our own worst enemy. Commandment 10, the final communication commandment. Ask the right questions. If you want 5 children when you marry, please do not wait to get married to find out whether your spouse or potential spouse wants children. I have met people who have gotten married and learned after the fact that their spouses did not want children. I don't want something similar to happen to you. Remember, it's all up to you to implement my 10 communication commandments, which are the keys to professional and personal success. Do contact me and let me know how these commandments are working out for you. Call 310-441-5305 to arrange a time to speak with me, or email me at drbarro@barroglobal, barroglobal.com. To learn more about my Right Fit method, listen to 60-plus radio shows, including my January show, in which I talk about the 10 career commandments for 2011. Even though we're halfway through, these commandments should be the right fit for you for the rest of your life. Please join me again on Wednesday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. Pacific Time when I interview Karen Hart, award-winning singer, songwriter, and composer. To learn more about Karen, visit drbarro.com. On this website, you can see all of the shows that I've done. Click on the show description that interests you. It will take you to Blog Talk Radio, and the show will begin to play. Visit winwithoutcompeting.com to read reviews and excerpts of Win Without Competing and learn about my business, career, and coaching services. By Win Without Competing, nominated for a Business Book Award and published in the U.S. and in India by Macmillan. To order Win quickly, go online to Amazon. Visit barroglobal.com, the corporate website of Barrow Global Search, Inc. Submit your resumes to resumes, and that's with an S, RESUMES, at barroglobal.com. For all the ways you can learn my Right Fit method and make it your Right Fit method, visit Dr. Arlene, DoctorArleneFit.com. method.com. That's Dr. Arlene, rightfitmethod.com. Call me directly at 310-441-5305 about searches, coaching, and speaking. Remember this trigger tip. What am I really saying when I speak up? Lots of us do not understand what we're really saying. When I was a child, I was very fortunate. I lived in Brookline, Massachusetts, the birthplace of John F. Kennedy. My dad was a cantor in a synagogue. Together, we would walk hand in hand through the streets of Brookline, Massachusetts. We would stop. My dad would speak and greet people, and after the conversation, he would ask me, what had I understood from the conversation that I had just listened to? My dad taught me to understand the meaning behind the words. This lesson, by far, is the number one lesson in my life. And I hope that my radio show will help you to learn how to use a method which will change both your personal and professional life. Thank you for listening to the Win Without Competing show. Goodbye for now, Dr. Arlene.
Hey Encino, looking for low prices on grocery favorites? Find them at your refreshed Amazon Fresh grocery store. Save big with new deals updated weekly. And if you're a Prime member, save even more with 10% off hundreds of items in store. Head to Amazon.com/grocery store opening to find weekly deals, info on upcoming events, and more. Visit your refreshed Amazon Fresh grocery store in Encino on Ventura Boulevard.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. Take control with Reputation Defender. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-811-4975 to speak to an expert.